Hello cyclists, and welcome back to Vlogmas Day 3. This video is going to be less of a vlog and more of a setup for a process that I call bullet journaling, or it's a process called bullet journaling that I do. I actually had a separate channel where I would specifically show like my bullet journaling content on, but I figured since the season was going to be hectic, I would just put it on this channel, and that way I could use it as a video. So basically, the process of bullet journaling is you have like a blank dot gridded notebook paper, and you basically set up like a planner or an agenda, but you can theme every single month. So for December, I decided to go with a hot cocoa theme, and so I mainly used this like maroon or burgundy kind of red, and then a brown for the actual hot chocolate. I think that this perfectly encapsulates the spirit of Christmas, and the last 2 years that I've done a Christmas theme, I've happened to use red in both of them. Maybe not so much green in all of them, but definitely red in all of them, so I figured I'd keep that tradition going with this theme. So basically, I sort of got into bullet journaling through YouTube videos. I would watch a lot of like study videos and like college students going through vlogs and stuff, and a lot of them would end up also enjoying bullet journaling, so I sort of found it through the YouTube wormhole, and I've been obsessed for about 2 years. I'm gonna have, I think, officially my like 2-year anniversary in June, or 3-year anniversary in June, something like that. But yeah, so basically I am coloring in the hot chocolate right now and making the mug. This is actually a pretty simple theme to do. It did not take me nearly as long. I think some of my other themes have required a bit more of planning through and, you know, like adding things to it, but I wanted this to be super simple. And so yeah, right now I'm just going along and adding different, like, I guess mug stains are supposed to be like top views of the hot chocolate on the sides, little corners and stuff. But basically, you know, bullet journaling, I feel like, is one of those things that's really cool because you can customize it however you want. So you don't have to stick with the same old like planner styles or pages that they have in a regular agenda. You can tailor it to whatever your needs are. So you can use it for a planner, you can use it for like a scrapbooking notebook, you can literally do anything with it. But most of the time, the thing that kind of links it is that dot grid paper, and then each month you have a different theme that you center around the month. All your other pages on. So right now I'm just working on what we call a cover page, and that's basically just to like mark like, okay, this is the start of the next month, and you know, to sort of you know, mark that off. And then on the left side I added, people do different things. Some people do what they call a quote page, so they'll put like a quote that they're feeling represents their goals for the month. Some people will make it a memories page, where they'll put different like, you know, like scrapbooky type of papers, or just like write down like journal entries in terms of like cool highlights for the month. But in this month I decided to go with a holiday tracker so that I could better track the gifts that I'm giving other people, and also the gifts that I'm getting from other people, and how much I'm spending on those gifts. Because I normally include, as you'll see later in this video, a budget tracker to help track my expenses, but I figured it'd be interesting to see the amount of money I was spending and on what specifically for Christmas gifts, because I feel like Christmas is definitely one of those holidays that, at least in my family, you know, the expenses for it add up very quickly. So I think that having a page front and center at the beginning of the month just showing all of that and having my ideas and being able to plan that out is really good. Also for this month, I kind of struggled with my font choice, because I feel like, you know, that's the other thing, is when you pick a theme, you can pick your colors, you can pick your fonts, but I think that the colors kind of came a lot more easy to me since it's hot chocolate. There had to be brown, and I figured the red would kind of tie in nicely with the Christmas element to it, but the font was really what I was struggling with. So I sort of just did like a regular, you know, handwritten, like thin lines, but then I sort of tried to move everything down, which like not quite centered, so you can see like in the E for December, I made the middle line a little bit smaller, a little bit like toward the bottom, to sort of give it a little bit of like a interesting flair to it. And then I did a line in the middle of it with the color that I feel sort of made it pop out a bit more than just being the bland like wordings and everything like that. So I sort of pre-planned everything with doing a rough like pencil sketches of all the things and the placements, so I knew where everything was when I went to go in. And then I just traced it over with a very thin pen which kind of bled over as you can see. But I'm outlining the circles because I felt like it needed just a little bit more of like a indentation that it was supposed to be like, contained in that circle. But now on to the next page. So, this is my monthly calendar. I typically do a 6x6 dot grid for the calendars. A few months ago, I kind of experimented with doing calendars on one page. So I would flip the notebook on the side and just put the calendar there. But I find that those only work for months that you don't have a lot going on. And December is definitely not one of those months. I am always so busy in November and December at the end of the year. There's just a lot of things to keep track of and events going on, so I like to make sure that I have plenty of space when I'm outlining my calendar. And a lot of people, you don't have, like I said, like bullet journaling is very individualized, so you don't actually have to include any of the spreads that you're seeing, in the video today. These are just the spreads that I find through experimentation that I need for certain months versus don't need for certain months. So there are a couple spreads in here that I have not used in a couple months actually because I have not needed them, but I feel like for December I'm going to need them. And I feel like that's one of the cool things about bullet journaling is that, you can experiment with certain styles or with certain, spreads or, ideas one month, and if you don't like it, you don't have to stick with it. Whereas with a regular planner, you have to, you have the pages already set for you and everything like that, so there's not a lot of room for individualization, which I find kind of helps me motivate myself for doing the work that I need to do. But one of my favorite things about the calendar spreads normally is a process that you don't even see in this video, but it's me like filling out the calendar. I always just find it so satisfying to take all the events that I've been stockpiling on my phone and my calendar app and just being able to put it on paper and see like all the stuff I have to do, and then I like to color code the events. Normally I will color code them by if they are a recurring event that I have to continue to do, a singular event, or if it's like a holiday or a birthday or something like that, I'll normally color code those, and I feel like it's so satisfying. But now I'm just adding sprinkles on the top of the page. One, because I feel like they have like, that kind of ties in with the theme, I guess, with like the sweets and the hot cocoa. But also because in this bullet journal, I decided to go with a yearly theme of sprinkles or confetti, I guess. And so what I would try and do is anytime that I have a calendar spread, I would include the sprinkles, but in the color that theme for the month was. So now I just had some pink and brown sprinkles on there to sort of tie it in together with the overall yearly theme. But you don't have to do that at all. But now we're over the page and onto the habit tracker. So this is just a way for me to track, certain things that I want to see if I am keeping up with and goals and everything, and be able to see in one spread how I've done for that month. So the habits I like to track are how many steps I got in, my workout, the meals that I'm eating, how much I'm spending, or my budget, and also tracking my period. And I feel like just being able to see this in a monthly view every month, having it in this method, I feel like really helps me track certain like trends that are happening in terms of like, my health. But you can literally put anything that you want in the habit tracker, anything you're trying to track. If you have like reading goals, or if you have like a diet you're trying to follow, you can put it in there. And a lot of people use different methods for the habit tracker. There are like, you can make little mini calendars and fill in the boxes if you've completed the habit on time, or there's other ways that people do it too. But I have been using this method for months and I just really enjoy it a lot. On the other page is my mood tracker. Now, this is a spread that I definitely do not include every month. Some months I am very much like, I need to conserve all of my pages, and so I just don't want to have this all drawn out. But I figured for Christmas it would be a nice little thing. So I went ahead and I drew out 31 different hot cocoa mugs, and so each day of the month, I will color them in with a specific color that signals how I was feeling that day. If I was anxious, if I was angry, if I was really excited about something. And I just think it's like a fun way to, one, be able to track your moods, but also just to, have something fun to color in, and you look forward to filling them in and seeing how they all look at the end, how colorful they all look. At the beginning of the month, it is very boring to look at, sort of, because everything's just kind of all white and, not filled in. But I went ahead and just traced over all of those mugs with my pen, which I'm not going to make you sit through all of those. So next, and my final spread of the month, is my playlist spread. So I like to keep track of all the songs, or the prominent songs, that I listen to every month. So I'll go ahead and I'll put a page in my bullet journal every month just to write down any shows, podcasts, or songs that I was listening to in that month that I think are prominent and deserve to be remembered. And then at the end of the month, what I'll normally do is compile the songs into one playlist so that I can keep that as a record, and I have it in multiple places. But I just went ahead and drew a couple of hot cocoa mugs and continued that little theme that I was doing with the line of color by the words, which I think turned out really well. It's super simple, but I think it just adds a little bit of like a flair to the page. And then I decided that they looked a little plain, and I normally don't need the entire page worth when I'm doing these. So I decided to add a little dot border, which I think was kind of cool because it called back to like the marshmallows from the very first page, but I didn't have to like draw awkward like mini 3D marshmallows. So I thought that it was a good little compromise for that. But now we are finished, and I'm going to go to the final flip through just to review all of the pages that I did in today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you don't know, I'm doing Vlogmas for December, so I'm posting a video every month, so stay tuned. Oh, I also went back into the calendar and just added a quick little line through the letters for the week's days because I figured it needed just a little something extra on the page. But yeah, stay tuned for all the fun Vlogmas content coming, and if you like this video, feel free to give it a like and share it. Thank you so much. Bye.